Yes, the NBA regular season is a really big drag. It sucks. It's hard to get through. And it's hard to sit through 82 games of a regular season. No question. The NBA clearly at least knows this, understands this, and acknowledges this. And is working to try and do something in their minds to rectify it. Now, of course, the tactic, the path that they're going down is so divorced from the reality of what would actually solve the problems, and some of those problems may not even be solvable. Bless their hearts for trying, but this whole in-season tournament shit is just stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. You want to know why the NBA regular season is so boring? The actual style of the game. This all-star game style, three-point fest style, where you go large swaths where absolutely no defense is played. Where when guys are shooting and bricking threes, you're going long stretches with no points being scored. It is an abysmal fucking watch. It really is. And the ratings kind of back that up a little bit, right? It's an abysmal watch. And then one of those key things that when I was growing up, 80s, 90s, da-da-da. This is not about it was better back in the day. It was, but the key difference to me was that you had player rivalries. Tell me one great player rivalry you have now. Tell me one. You used to have Bird versus Magic. You had Michael versus Magic, Michael versus Bird, Michael versus Isaiah. Olajuwon versus the Admiral. Shaq versus the rim. And the backboards that he would tear down. No, I'm serious. If you think about it, there were player rivalries. Jordan versus Drexler. You have none of that shit now in today's NBA. Absolutely none of that. And then you get to the teams. There is not one real passionate rivalry amongst teams in today's NBA. You could go back even like Knicks and Heat was a fantastic rivalry. And that even is before you get to Bulls Knicks and Bulls Pistons and Celtics Pistons and Celtics Lakers. And I could go on and on and on. There were a number of great rivalries. You have none of that now. So the kind of tough to watch style of play combined with players that don't seem to care about it as much as they once did, combined with the absolute lack of rivalries amongst teams that you can get emotionally invested in and say, hey, it don't matter. I got to watch Jordan versus the Cavs tonight because that's a legit rivalry. You have none of that shit. Yeah, that's boomer talk, whatever you want to say, but it's fucking true. And doing some damn in-season tournament solves none of that shit. And what feels like a real disaster to me about this whole thing is, yes, it's going to be different. And, a lot of times people have visceral reactions to change because it's different. It's outside of the comfort zone. People don't like to be outside of their comfort zone. But sometimes the reason people have a visceral reaction is because shit just doesn't really make sense. And it's bad when you go to the NBA.com website and they have to devote several pages to explaining how this goddamn convoluted-ass, confusing-ass tournament is going to work. They have to have an FAQ page to answer some of the most frequently asked questions. That's when you know you've made some convoluted bullshit. They're basically starting in early November, you're going to take all 30 teams and put them in 6 pools, 5 teams per pool, blah, 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 blah. And each team is going to play once against the other 4 teams in their group. This is fucking dumb, right? And then the winner of each of those groups automatically advances to the knockout round along with 2 wild cards. So now you got to keep track of that. Meanwhile, this is technically taking place in the regular season, but if you don't advance to the knockout rounds, then how does the regular season work? Now are you saying that these tournament games are infinitely more important than the other regular season games, which also count against the 82 games? This shit's going to carry out over a fucking month? I'm looking at the NBA page right now. The tournament starts on Friday, November 3rd, and culminates in the championship game on Saturday, December 9th. So they even put the championship game in this shitty-ass time slot and date. Saturday night's a terrible spot for this. That's like fucking 5-6 weeks of a damn tournament. Who's going to be interested in it for that long? March Madness is done in like 2.5 weeks. This shit's going to go like 5 or 6. How is this addressing anything? All this is going to do is confuse the fuck out of people. I mean, think about this. I'm reading from the website. Tournament nights will take place every Tuesday and Friday from November 3rd to 28th, with the exception of Election Day on Tuesday, November 7th. Well, that's nice. When no games will be played. The only NBA games played on tournament nights will be group play games. Group play games will count as regular season games for all purposes. Wasn't that nice? Like, what the fuck? So how does the rest of the schedule flow here? This just feels like you are trying to address a problem in the totally backward-ass way to do so. The reality is, I don't know that there's much that the NBA can do other than trying to crack down on the lack of physicality in the game by allowing a little bit. I don't want it to go back to the headhunting days of the 80s and 90s. No. But a little physicality would be okay. Every time there's a even remotely somewhat tough foul, we don't automatically run and see if it's a fucking flagrant. This is the real long-lasting impact and legacy and damage done by the Malice at the Palace. The NBA got too fucking soft. The style of play got too soft. The teams got too soft. The players got too soft. That's it. And until you do something to crack down on the style of play being as wide open pussy ball like it is now, people aren't going to care. Turn them in my ass. That's what happens. You're going to have teams that probably sit there and still load manage their guys. And what's the stakes here? Oh, you win an NBA Cup. What the hell does that mean? Why would any of these NBA teams give a shit about that? Oh, they're going to win money. Okay, so for a bunch of guys that are already fucking millionaires, they get a fucking percentage of whatever fictitious or realistic pool that's going to get taxed 50% plus any damn ways. Where's the benefit for them? Why the hell would they care? Now, if you said, hey, if you're a team and you win this whole shebang-a-bang, you get home court advantage throughout your conference's playoffs no matter what your seed is. Now all of a sudden you got something to play for. And if you say, hey, you win this thing and you're one of the top seeds, like top 1 or 2 seeds in your conference, you go to the NBA Finals, no matter what the other team's record is, you have home court advantage in the NBA Finals. Now you've got some realistic, meaningful stakes. Playing for a stupid trophy with no prestige behind it and some goddamn money for a bunch of multimillionaires ain't moving the needle for the players, the organizations, or the fucking fans. Just sounds like it's going to be a confusing-ass, convoluted-ass mess. I thought Adam Silver was going to do some shit right. But man, the more I see him at work, I sit there and I laugh. Because he doesn't have nearly the marketing genius of David Stern. He's allowed the NBA to become even more wussified. And his solutions to problems are anything but, and to me, just add more problems to the damn mix. This whole tournament is stupid. And if they persist, as the NBA, on doing it in future years, it's only going to make shit worse.